gay bears if they leave. Well, I don't know why Bye Bye's in here if we're talking about gay bears. He's the OG gay bear in this place. He'll always have that title as the gayest bear. Fuck. Alright. So I want to ask you guys before I start, being that I'm just seeing people popping in and out. Do you guys have trading rules? And then if so, I want to see what some of your trading rules are. If you could type it in the chat. Because I want to get a sense, of what you guys are currently doing, and then also, people can take away from, trading rules that you may have before I go over my process. Yeah, dude. Soy actually, he DMs me every day, and he lets me know that he's full porting, just on a hunch. He only trades on a hunch, and he doesn't. I know one of his rules is if it's raining, he doesn't trade, which is really interesting. So that's a good one. Violate. All right, let's see. Bye bye with some good rules there. Stop off in profit. Break even as soon as possible. That's a good one. Yeah, bye bye. Yeah, I'm gonna go over some of that stuff, and I'm gonna go over like how I came up with my rules and why I came up with them. A lot of my rules are based on experiences and recognizing, um, like how I am as a person. With trading, you really have to be in touch with your tendencies and how you react, to situations, especially when you're reacting to dopamine. And it's very hard at first, but you have to figure out a way to mitigate, your risk when your dopamine and serotonin levels are really high. Yeah, it's really learning, taking note of yourself and your reactions to losses and wins even, and being able to take a step back when needed. Yeah, it was like today. It was I took like 2 weeks off of trading SPY. I never really traded a downtrend on SPY, and I wanted to watch price action. And in that time, I learned some things about me. Um, but then, also in that time, I really got to take a step back and realize, uh, you know, some of the rules that I have in place would have saved my ass on potential trades and even after wins. And today was the first day back, and I had a good day. It was a over $800 profit day, and I think I was done by like 12:30. And I knew there were going to be more setups, and it's very hard to walk away at 12:30 in the afternoon knowing that there's 3.5 hours of trading left, knowing that there's going to be good setups. So I have to really take a hard stop because my losses, usually happen after I have a win, and it's because I'm over trading. And I'm going to be going over like how I prevent. It's my tendency to overtrade. It's my tendency to, when I have some high dopamine, that I'm like, okay, what's the next one? I'm on a roll, and my trading rules to step away and the rules that I have in place is to protect me from my fucking self. It's not to protect me from the market, it's to protect me from myself. I really need to protect me from myself because the market isn't fucking up your trades. I want you guys to realize this, that the market's not fucking up your trades. You're fucking up your trades. And if you don't have rules and you don't recognize how you are in your behavior and you don't recognize your patterns, you're going to end up getting smoked. And I've gotten smoked before, and it's because of all of this. Yeah, Bye Bye makes a good point with stop losses. Yeah, a lot of people, yeah, that's cool. Set stop loss, set target profit levels. If scalping, look for a cluster. I don't know what that means. If you can explain, look for a cluster. Um, Stick to the strategy. Good. Yeah, I have a poster hung up, and it's honestly like, pardon my language, but it's fucking gay. It's like really gay. It's like it looks like a motivational poster, um, and it's a picture of a bull, and it says "Trade your plan, not your emotions," and it's hanging up right over my computer, and it took everything in me to order it because I hated the way it looked because I don't like motivational shit. But it really does remind me in those moments when I'm gonna overtrade to take a step back and be like, am I trading my plan right now, or am I trading my emotion? Am I trading the dopamine? Am I trading that next hit of dopamine? So anything helps, dude. If you gotta buy something that's fucking corny as hell to have in front of you to remind you not to overtrade, to remind you to trade your plan, do it. Yeah, I know. Soy Bagman. He was just doing renovations on his house, and I know it was his choice to have as many live, love, laugh sentiment all around his home. Yeah. By his wife. I'm sorry, dude. uh, but yeah, you got some. Yeah. Oh, new tattoos. So that's awesome. He's been using his profits from his spy trading to get live, laugh, love tattoos. Amazing. So I want to start with, we have our trading rules for when market opens, and trading rules. A lot of it comes down to your psychology and really being able to understand who you are as a person. And one thing that I like doing, my pre-trading day is, and guys, this is legit rules that I have. Like my first rule is when I wake up in the morning, I immediately take a shower. And I immediately take a shower because A, it wakes me up, and I end my shower with a cold shower, and it's kind of like my first dopamine hit, and I'm getting that initial rush right in the morning. And what that does is, for me at least, because of the way I am, it really helps mitigate the amount of dopamine that I get when I have that first win on the day. So I'm relaxing, I'm thinking. I don't pull up a chart first thing in the morning. I go into day trade lobby and I see people posting stuff like 6:37 in the morning, and I'm like, fuck that. I'm not doing that right now. I need to take care of my mind before I even look at a chart. So the first thing I do is I do a hot shower, cold shower. You don't need to do cold. You don't need to be like me. But it's something that works for me. It's an immediate shock to my body and immediate dopamine, right? And I take that hot shower. Showers in general wake me up in the morning. I'm tired throughout the day if I don't take a shower. It's a very, very weird thing with me, and I've been like that since I'm younger. And I noticed that I stopped taking morning showers when I got into trading because I just wanted to be in front of the computer pre-market. And I went back to it, and it's definitely made me feel a little bit better. So these are some of my rules. Like, they're simple, and it's more, yeah, it's like an on switch. Yeah, bypass ritual. Yeah, it's very simple things to get your mind ready for the day. And even if you're not trading, this is something that I do. Like after the trading day, I teach Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and I have to be there at 4:30. So the end of my trading day is usually at 3:45, 3:30. I get into the shower before I go do that because it's basically something new that I'm doing, and it's shutting off my brain, and I'm not thinking of anything else, and I'm going to do the next thing. So I use showers to end up doing that. Yeah. Louis, I fuck up people that do that shit. um, so yeah, it's I use showers as just more of a way to start my day. It's something that I know that I'm going to do in the morning. The second thing I do, I grab a coffee, right? I want to be awake. I like drinking my coffee before the market opens, usually about an hour beforehand. I Usually I go to a coffee shop. It's down the road, like a 5 minute drive from my house, and there's a park there. So after I grab my coffee, I'm changing the interval to walk, right? I take a walk, right? I'm taking that walk because it's exercise. And what does exercise do? Exercise, no matter what it is, it could be a walk, it could be you going to the gym, right? So I'm going to change this to exercise, right? Exercise is an immediate release of serotonin and dopamine within your body. So in these three things right here, I get a shock from the cold shower, and I get some dopamine and serotonin from the exercise. There's some days I go to the gym in the morning. And it's extremely important for me because if I start my trading day without the exercise, my first hit of dopamine and serotonin is going to be that win. And sometimes it's overwhelming. And I'm sure you guys know what that overwhelming feeling is. Like if you're playing Jackie strategy and you get like a 200% trade at 10 o'clock in the morning and that trade lasted only 15 minutes, you're fucking ready for the day. And I see people in day trade lobby, they're celebrating like, fuck yeah, like it's just the start of the day is early. And what they're doing is they're really, really, really riding that dopamine spike. So the exercise in the morning is something that really helps mitigate that initial response of dopamine because our body already gave off that serotonin and dopamine. And also, you're starting your day in a good mood. You might have had some losses the day before. And you're starting the day and you're all bummed out and you're nervous and you have some anxiety on the day because you want to make back your money, which is horrible. And that's another rule I have is if I have a loss the day before, I don't go into a trade in my day on trying to make up my losses that day. I've gotten completely smoked doing that, and I know a lot of people that have gotten smoked doing that. So I don't go into the trading day. I don't go into the trading day trying to make up my previous losses, right? If say I'm down $500 from the day before, I don't think about it anymore. I do not go into my first trade, my second trade, and my third trade with the goal of let's make back money. It's a long week. There's 5 days in a week. And even at the end of the week, you might only be up $100 on the week, but it's something. So I don't like thinking about my day before, and that even goes with wins. If I had a good $800 day today, that doesn't mean tomorrow I'm going to try to do $800. You know, one thing that I will do, so this is pre-trading day. These are things that I do to mitigate dopamine. And then we're going to do trading. Market hours. Right. One thing that I will do is I try not to do this, and sometimes I find myself doing this, and you know, Bye can attest that sometimes I do have goals to make a certain amount of money every day. But I don't try to I don't have profit goals. Right? I don't go into the market hours with a profit goal. And the reason I don't do that is because I will be so honed in on trying to make that $200 or $300 or $400 a day that I end up over trading because the first two trades didn't go my way. So I really do not set profit goals on the day. I think it does more harm than good, and it's based on experience. And you might be thinking, okay, well, what goals do I have if I don't have profit goals, right? Like what's the motivation to trade? is it. I enter my day, and every day I trade my strategy. And this is what this means for me. I can see in the day trade lobby, I might see Calvin, post something with his VWAP, and he might be looking for calls. And I trust Calvin and I trust his analysis, but you know what? That's not how I trade, and it's not part of my strategy, and I don't trade it. And sometimes I watch and I go, "Wow, that would have paid." But the problem is, it's not within my strategy, and I don't have control of that because it's not in my strategy, and it confuses me. So I trade my strategy. Jackie will post a harmonic, and based on the rules that I have, I don't trade it sometimes because I don't think the move's going to be big. So every day, my goal is trade your fucking strategy. And if you don't have a strategy, there are strategies. You have Jackie's strategy, which has an 80% success rate, right? You have the hourly rule. If you're first starting, or even if you're not first starting, mark the hourly high, the hourly low, and you're trading above the high, you're looking for calls. You're trading below, you're looking for puts. So every day, I don't have profit goals, especially with SPY. And my goal on the day is to trade my strategy. Something that I do for a rule is above very simple. If we are trading above VWAP and there's some distance to VWAP from price, I am not looking to enter any puts. I am only looking for call opportunities. So we will be trading above VWAP. So let's take today, that was Friday. What was today? Today was Monday, right? Yeah. 11. We'll just do VWAP real quick. Monday. We'll do VWAP here, right? So if we go to the 1 minute. So very simple here. We're trading above VWAP. I'm only looking for calls. When I saw the break of this high here, I'm only looking for calls on the day. And you can see here that we were trading below VWAP for a bit. But look at the like how close price was to VWAP when we were down here. It was just retest lower. I really like to have some distance from VWAP, and you can use that easily by levels or areas of support resistance. So we had this here. We're just going to go down here, and we're trading above VWAP. We're definitely above VWAP here. So maybe I would look to get into calls when we broke this area here. It's a rule that I have because when you're trading above VWAP and you get into some puts, based on my experience, they don't nearly move as much as calls do. What do I do about sizing, mitigation of risk? And don't forget about your EMAs. I'll get into that as well. What the fuck is this? What are you doing? Get rid of you. So if we're trading above VWAP and there's distance, I'm only looking for call opportunities. I don't really care about puts. I know the put opportunities are there based on Jackie's strategy, but from my experience, when we are above VWAP, the calls will pay more, and when we are below VWAP, the puts will pay more. So that's a very simple rule that I have, above and below. When it comes to the sizing, the first trade that I take on the day is always the smallest. And I don't care if so many things are aligning on the day. It could be the Jackie strategies playing out, we'll pull up like the 8 and 21 EMAs, we'll pull up the Fibonacci, we'll do all of this shit, right? And I don't care if I see something like this and that was a good dollar move. Um, the first trade I take on the day, I usually do only 3 to 5 contracts. There's days where if I'm not very confident in the trade, or if I see something like this where we really haven't broken below VWAP and it hasn't confirmed because we keep retesting it, where I might only do 1 or 2 contracts because I'm not confident that we're going to go lower. Like you can see here, when I pull up my EMAs, my moving averages, Bollinger Bands, and we also have the 200 EMA purple and the 200, this was support the whole time, right? So if I did take a trade, I took my first trade, I think it was around like 10:30-ish, around 10:30, it was around here. This was the trade I took, and I took profit at that test of the 200. We were below here, and I knew that this was here, and it was only 3 contracts. It wasn't that big. It's because there was no clean break of this VWAP yet. The trend really wasn't defined yet on the day. Usually I'm using the 1 minute VWAP Chan with my trades. So I take VWAP and I set it to the open of the first candle on the 1 minute, and I go from there. And now I don't use a specific VWAP indicator. I use the anchored VWAP that is on Trading View, and I set it to the open of the first candle of the day. Yeah, it's anchored. Yeah. So the opening price of the day. Yeah, so VWAP, we went over that. I did, the EMA lesson when it comes to, how I trade and I use the EMAs, and I'm not going to hash that all out again. That lesson is available for you guys to watch. I don't want this to be a reiteration of that. But I do have rules when it comes to, trading and EMAs as well. If I see the 21 EMA starting to pull behind or back down below the 20 EMA on a run up, I'll look to take profits, which we'll get into profit taking. But those are, I feel like the VWAP rule is something simple that you guys can play. If you're trading below VWAP, really look for puts only. And if you're above VWAP, look for those calls. In this case, we were below VWAP, but price was still above the 200 EMA, which told me that, there really wasn't a downtrend. So if I was trading all throughout the day, I would have watched this. And it's interesting because I think I stopped trading at like 12:30, and we just took, something like this here with a traded trend lines, break of that trend line. With the EMAs above VWAP, that would have been a nice call. Very cool, very cool. So we're gonna go back to the rules here. Yeah, when it comes to sizing too, pre-trading day, something that you guys can do them to put here that I used to do is pre-market paper trades. So obviously we can't trade in scam hours, but to get your mind and your body connected to your trading, that that first push of a buy when you're trading, sometimes can give you a little bit of anxiety, like, oh fuck, first trade of the day. A good way to get rid of that is pre-market. Just do some paper trading. You get it out of your system. You're getting a trade out of your system, and you're practicing, your strategy in pre-market. And it's just getting yourself warmed up. Exactly, so it's getting yourself warmed up for the day. Something that I do is I do crypto futures, and sometimes before pre-market, I'll pull up crypto futures and I'll do a very small position size scalp. A few of them just to get my brain and my mind going and into the flow of the trading day. So it's getting your mind set for that day. Yeah, so I think warm ups are extremely important. Another thing that I like to do is I like marking the pre market highs and lows before open. I like using those as like first areas of possible support and resistance to break. Um, so that's something that I will do as well. It's not really a rule. I do it sometimes if I remember to. Maybe market push-ups and water breaks. Fuck yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm horrible with water. I'm not good with water, so I usually have a gallon of water by my side at all times. But yeah, really taking that first trade pre-market, just a paper trade to get your body going and get that first win and get your first dopamine rush out of the way. A rule that I have that Bye Bye mentioned is when I have a winning trade, I don't care if it's 20%. I don't care if it's 10%. I don't care if it's 5%. And I cut that trade. I walk away for 30 minutes to an hour. And when I say walk away, I mean I don't have, I straight up uninstall TradingView on my phone. I reinstall TradingView like 3 times a day on my phone, 3 to 4 times a day. I uninstall TradingView. I don't have my broker. Yeah, I uninstall it. And like I said, it's because I know how I am as a person. I could probably hide the app, but I mean, installing it back up really isn't time consuming. Walk away for 30 minutes to an hour. And the reason I walk away for 30 minutes to an hour is if we look, right, look at these shitty indicators that someone in this Discord made. I forget his name. I think it starts with a K. These are Calvin's RSI and MACD, and is also his DMI ADX indicator that I use. Yeah, no, these are key. All of these three right here are key to decisions that I make. Yeah, Calvin's a goat. If you look right, let's look at our first MACD cross of the day at 9:47. So it was 9:47. We had a cross at 10:11, right? So that's about a half hour. What I've noticed when it comes to MACD crosses, usually they last for 30 minutes to 45 minutes until there's another cross. So price action usually is about a half hour long of the current move before something else happens. That's just off of observation. We have a cross here at 10:38, and our next cross was at 10:50. So that was a smaller one. But on average, we're looking at around a half hour. 11:11, 11:11, like 11:30. So about 20 minutes around there. I like walking away for a half hour to an hour, and it's because usually in that half hour to an hour, another pattern ends up taking place. So walk away for 30 minutes to an hour, come back, look at price, let's see what's going on. Something else that I do that I should probably put is I don't trade the first 30 minutes of the day. And I know Jackie has his rule of not trading 5 reactions and I'll block him. I'm fucking dead right now. Just completely fucked. That's so funny. Do I trade data if there's a setup on the chart? Bye. Are you talking about like how the Fed's speaking this week? Are you talking about stuff like that? Man, you guys really want Calvin to get rid of the indicators. That's okay. I can make my own. We'll be good. Nah, I'm just kidding. Nah, I like Calvin a lot. He's a good dude. I think Calvin wants me to profess my love for him in front of everyone. There's 82 people in here. I really think Calvin just wants me to come out of the closet right now for him. Yes, so Calvin makes a good point. The reason why I don't trade the first half hour is because usually when the first half hour we get some type of pattern or formation or wedge, anything that I can trade off of. So if we do 9:30 open and we'll go to 10 o'clock right here, we had an M formation. First half hour of the day. Boom, 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 right? Get rid of that. Fuck that. Fuck that up. This is why I don't trade live, guys, because this is me all day. I'm fucking up everything. So we had an M formation. 1, 2, 3. Double top, basically. Right? We had that V pattern. When I see a V pattern like this, I know price could want to come down. So if I did follow my rule today. I don't trade the first half hour. That doesn't mean that I'm going to take a trade immediately after the first hour. I want a reason to take that trade. So 10 o'clock was about right here. This is crazy right now. Great first example. 9:30 to 10, we have this. I can simply just trade this right here. That break of that, maybe I would have entered this trade here. But I did see that we were below VWAP, or we were above VWAP still, so I probably wouldn't have taken a put. I think my first trade I took was here. I also like seeing if I'm going to enter puts and we're above VWAP. I like us breaking VWAP a few times before I can confidently enter a put position when we're trading below VWAP. It's basically telling me that price is saying, okay, yeah, I can break this, no problem. So first half hour of the day, I'm looking for some type of pattern. I'm looking for something to get into. So this would have been something I could have played here. And then you also had this, if I pulled up a just 3 minute, we'll do 5 minute maybe. I like the way the 5 minute looks for that pattern. Like this 5 minute pattern here, we have an even better double top. 1, 2, 3, you break this here, we come back down to here. So first half hour, I don't trade. And sometimes that's hard. And sometimes it's hard because Jackie and Calvin and we have Triz posting harmonics. We have a bunch of people that are seeing things pre-market. And, I don't do the whole call at open anymore. I don't play the gap rule because I'm not good at it. I've tried to play the gap rule before and I end up messing up my entry, so I just don't do it. So first half hour of the day, I'm waiting for price to form something. I just want something to trade, and that could be a trend line. It could be something like this. Like, it could be that simple. The break of this. Right? It wasn't the first half hour, but let's say it was. Broke this trend line and I get in here. That's like $1 move. So I'm really waiting for price action to occur, and I'm waiting for some type of pattern or structure to play. And that's why I have my first half hour rule. And the reason I made that rule is because of experience. I went back and I looked at my trades. And I saw it was like 77% of my losses occurred when I traded before the first half hour of the day. And I said, cool. I should make a rule that I don't, but I need a reason why. And I went back and looked. And I went back and looked at what the MACD does and how long it takes usually for a cross of the MACD for a next potential momentum push. And I looked at how long it usually takes for price to form a new pattern. And it's usually that half hour. And you can trade in half hour increments. Like if you do, we'll do like 11 o'clock. So we have 11 o'clock right here to 11:30, which is about right here. There you go. There's that half hour time frame. And look what happens, down. And then we do maybe 11:30 to 12. 11:30. Where's 12 o'clock at? 12. We have right here, and we have this. So in a half hour, we had this to break, which was a bearish W that ended up forming. So like half hour increments of trading. There's always going to be a setup. Yeah, journaling is extremely important too. I just started keeping a spreadsheet after, because I took a 2-week break to study price action and some things that I was working on. And that's one thing I decided is to keep a spreadsheet of my profit and losses on the day, and then have my reasoning for my trades at the end of the day in that spreadsheet. So that's something that you can do. But like I said, I really do think after you take your trade, as soon as you sell, take a step away for a half hour and come back, and there's going to be something else you can play. Usually there's something. Like we do 12 o'clock to 12:30. Where's that 12? We have 12 o'clock here. We have 12:30 around here. Could played, break of this here and retest. Break, retest. These little scalps. So half hour increments. Yeah, I'm recording this, so I'll try to upload it tonight to YouTube. If not tonight, because I'm lazy, I will probably do tomorrow. Yeah, how I allocate, that's a good question. My rules for my position sizing and how I'm allocating capital for my trades, it's based on confluence. I trade EMAs. I use my EMAs a lot for entries. But if we have, like, say, an 8 and 21 cross of an EMA, and we have a breakout of a bull flag, I will go a little bit heavier on my contracts. Like, I'll take 20, 30 contracts. And it's based on confluence. Usually my position sizing is around 5 or 10. But I will base, how big I go contract size based on the confluence that I'm seeing, and also the support and resistance above where price can possibly go. That's help with anyone else. Here's a learner's talk, because I finally feel like I'm starting to get here. Nice, dude. I'm happy for you. In terms of the amount of time it takes to learn, it can take a while. Get it. Strategy. Yeah. The like I said, guys, it's like these. Like, I was trading for like 2 years before I figured out, like, the VWAP rule that I have. And it's like you pick up on these small things, and it really does save you. It really does save you. Yeah, so the indicators that I use RSI by Calvin, because I love him a lot. We have a love for each other that is like no other that I've ever experienced in my life. So I use RSI, I use the MACD, I use the KST, because I don't usually have Jackie's strategy that Calvin made up on my screen. I just use it visually, because I can just recognize Jackie's strategy with the MACD, RSI, and KST. And I use the DMI ADX that Calvin has, as well as more confluence to enter a trade. There you go. Yeah, so far those are the rules right now. I think really it's really hard. It's really hard to call it a day when you still have hours left in the day. And that's why you guys have to find something else to do that's not just trading. And I don't care what that is. It could be, like, if you're going to go grocery shopping that night, maybe start going grocery shopping after you make your first trade. Just get out of your fucking house. Like, set yourself up to get out of your house. Yeah, do a puzzle. I mean, SPY is basically like a puzzle, but we don't have that in front of us, right? Yeah, go to work. There you go. So, like, get a fucking job. How about that? So you don't have to be doing this shit. Um, some things that I do too is like I've been studying patterns and recognizing M and W patterns within the market, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll watch a few YouTube videos. Sometimes I go back and I rewatch one of Jackie's videos. Like on my list for this week is I haven't watched the ADX DMI video really since he came out with it. So I'm gonna go back and rewatch it and see if there's things that I missed or things I could pick up on that I didn't understand previously. So I'll occupy my time. Usually, I'll go to the gym. I'm usually at the gym for an hour, and I usually get back home an hour and a half later. And by that time, Price has done something, right? We have to wait for Price to do its thing. We need some type of pattern or structure to play. You can play trend lines, you can play anything, but we need Price to do what it needs to do in order to make that happen. Just catching up on the chat here, guys. Sorry. Yeah, so chopped liver. I'm speaking to. So yeah, even common stock day trading. Now, when I say day trading, that's you're only holding for a day. You can still use the RSI and the MACD indicators to enter your positions. You can use even a 5 minute time frame. Look at these beautiful little purple candles. Calvin recently mentioned to watch what happens when price goes from the DMI being below 15 to back to normal, and there's usually some type of pop there. So I've been keeping an eye on that as well. But yeah, you can use 15-minute time frame, half-hour time frame, and you can use MACD crosses as well. Like look at on SPY. Like when you have a MACD cross on SPY below center line, look what usually happens. I'm just gonna pull it up. MACD cross Tuesday, March 25th on the half hour. We bipped up. MACD cross. Like you can just be using something. You can just use the MACD if you want to enter your day trades on common stock. Like all of this stuff isn't just for options. Like I use this stuff if I'm doing a swing, if I'm using higher time frames. I just want to mark this level real quick so I don't forget it, because this level here on SPY, basically 569.81. If we break that tomorrow, I'll probably be looking for longs, because we have that gap fill at 573. So there you go, guys. Yeah, all time frames work, and that's what I wanted to get to. Is I see a lot of people struggling like when to take profits, and that's where levels of support and resistance come in handy. And when I say levels of support resistance, you could be using we'll pull up like a 1 minute time frame. Let's go back. So if I take a box, like I know from here to here, we had this. So say I got into calls here, right? Say I got calls here. I know that we sold off in this area. Maybe my take profit is this area here. Maybe we'll pull up some fibs for today. Where are you? Skyline Fibonacci. Here we go. My take profit could be VWAP if I'm in puts. We broke this. We broke the 236 here. We came down to the 382. I know that 80% of the time, if we open and close, above or below the 236, that we're going to 382. Maybe I look to take profits at 382, cut some of them, or maybe I hold it to the golden pocket because we got VWAP here. So we have two areas right here, right, and then we have this area here that was previous resistance. So maybe I'm just looking in this area to take profits on a trade. So I'm looking at support resistance. I use my EMAs as a gauge of when to get out. And guys, if you're using Jackie Strat, it's pretty fucking simple on when to take profit. Like if you got into, I mean, let's look for Jackie Strat playing out here. So we have cross. All right, so we have right here Jackie Strat. Maybe with Jackie Strat, you take profits on the next cross below center line. Maybe that's your take profit. You just, you hold it until that happens. You can also use the RSI as, take profits. Usually we come down, there's usually a test to the 35. We don't usually just break right through and just dive down. If you see something like this here, we're in this zone, a lot of times there's like a retracement. Bulls end up stepping in. Look at every time we start hitting this area, we popped up, we popped up, we popped up. So if you're taking a trade here and you see this, maybe your take profit is here. So using the RSI and these levels as well, using the center line, using the 65 area for the bull zone, as take profits. Look at what has happened when we've hit these areas before. We've come down. We've come down. So using the RSI, using areas of support resisting, using your Fibonacci's for those take profits. And then also, looking at higher time frames for take profits. We had this area here previously. I'm just going to mark that. Right? Say we went long here on a half-hour time frame, and we hit this area and we reject it. Maybe that's my take profit. So support resistance for take profits. I also use my EMA and MA strategy in order to figure out when I'm going to sell, and I'll bring that up briefly. I don't want to go through all of that again, which is basically we have the breakout of this structure here. We break out, we retest. We have the 21 EMA trading above the 20. We're above the 8 EMA. We keep testing the 21 and going up. My take profit usually will occur on the next cross of the 821 EMA. If I buy a call because we ended up crossing the 821 EMA and everything looks good, my take profit usually is when we close below the 8 EMA and I see that there's a potential cross. But I also look at patterns. Like we had a little double top here. Not fuck this up again. We had a small little double top. Right? We ended up coming all the way down here. Right? So maybe I see a double top for me. I go, there's a double top, and I'm going to take profit because I see that M formation. Maybe my take profit's VWAP, right? We're below VWAP. We came up, we broke above it, but we're really not breaking out from it. I don't know, maybe I just take profit on this candle. Right here, this red candle. That's a pretty decent run up. 563. 563.38, 565.20. It's almost a $2 run up there. Maybe that's what I do. Maybe I look for the first red candle that's showing, okay, this is going to go down. Jesus Christ, you guys are really talking in here. Yeah, so usually the largest time frame that I'll use for spotting the M's and the W's is you can use larger time frames for larger swings on it. Like we had a W formation, you could have seen this coming from here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it would have been a break of this here for a continuation of the W, which might take us to that 577 for a possible retrace down. But usually, if I'm day trading, I'll use the highest I'll usually go is usually 5 minute for structures. So we had like a bearish W here, bullish W here, broke that center line, went up. You can even see the M formation here. Look at that double top on the 5 minute. That was a really nice play here. We had another double top here. 5 minute usually is a little bit cleaner. 1 minute you get smaller patterns that you can end up playing. You guys could just see just the amount of W's, and usually within a W there's some type of M formation, which is a double top. So we have one here, right? But yeah, usually I'll use like up to 5 minutes for patterns. For Jackie Strat, is it reasonable to use the 1 hour as the macro that the 1, 5, 15 minute find themselves in for that type of trade? Jackie Strat. Yeah, I would say so for day trade. I think hourly or a half hour is a good like higher time frame for a macro. Like I said, you could pull up the half hour time frame, and you know, like right here we had a good resistance, right? Right in this area. We came up, we came back down, we came back down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So you could have played even on the 1 minute. This was the area. 1, 2, 3. Look at that breakout. We broke out of it and we went up. So yeah, I like using the half hour, just because there's a little bit more to see in comparison to the hourly, because you're getting 2 candles, not just one. So I like using the half hour for area support resistance. Actually, I'm gonna do this right here. There we go. So like even for tomorrow, like talking about macro, we have this here on the half hour, this area right here, we came down, came back up. It was an area of support resistance, it was an area of support, was an area of resistance. So maybe tomorrow that 565 area becomes another support and we come back up. Maybe we do finish this pattern. 1, 2, maybe we come back down, test this, and we go back up to fill this gap. So I use the half hour time frames as like area support resistance to try to find those areas before the day starts. You don't have a brokerage account. Chopped liver, what? So you're in the U.S. So am I. What? Are you trading common stock? And like how long are you usually holding? Like, are you day trading? I'm assuming you're not doing options because you're smart. Yeah, Webull is cool. When it comes to like trading commons, like Webull's a good one. I use Webull for options. I'll use Webull for if I'm buying common stock. For like long term holds, and when I say long term, if I plan on like holding a stock for like 6 months to a year, I like using Fidelity, just because Fidelity has like over $2 trillion worth of assets. So I know if something fucking happens in the market that I'm gonna be okay, hopefully. So I like Fidelity for more long term. Webull if I'm gonna maybe hold for a week or two, a month. Simple. Actually, while we're here, I'm going to draw this box. thing that I like doing, I'm going to take this VWAP off, right? Let's say on the 1 minute time frame, I ended up taking this. Right, we're just going to do this. I ended up taking this trade. And I ended up taking this trade, let's say at this candle here. What I will do is I'll anchor a VWAP to the candle I took the trade on. And I can also use that as when I'm going to sell, a break of that VWAP. So you guys saw me do that. If I'm entering a trade on a breakout of a trend line, say, or even the 821 EMA cross, I'll find the candle that I take the trade on. Let's say it's this one. And I can use this to gauge when to sell. And it's a good way to know if your trade's going south or not. Like let's say I took a trade on this for some reason. I don't know why I would, but let's say I'm new to this and I go, I'm gonna take a trade here. And I'm gonna sell if we break below it. Right? Maybe I sell on this red candle. And then I see this again and I go, okay, I'm gonna wait for a new entry. But usually what I'll do is, like I said, if I'm gonna take a trade, usually on the candle I entered the trade, I can use the VWAP from that candle as a potential point of I'm selling the rest of my position. Basically the rule is, okay, well, if we're staying above that VWAP from where I took that trade on that candle, we're good. And as soon as I start seeing uncertainty where we can possibly break that, maybe I sell it. And maybe I sell right here. We broke it. It's a pretty nice red candle. Yeah, my VWAP setting, pull that up. So I use standard, style. I just use the VWAP. I don't use the upper lower bands. I don't like the way it looks on my chart. Calculation, standard deviation. Source, I have it set at open, the opening of that candle, not the close. So maybe this is something you guys could take away too, is if you go to the projection tab in your trading view, volume based, you'll see anchored VWAP. Pull up the anchored VWAP, go to your settings, change the source to open, bands based on standard deviation. I don't use the bands, I just use the volume weighted average price. I just don't like the crowding on my chart. I know Calvin does. I just don't like the way it looks because I don't trade off of that. It's just not my style of trading. And there's your settings. It's set it to open. So if I'm opening my position on this candle and I open here, maybe I wait for a break below VWAP from where I opened in order to get out of that trade, because that tells me that that trend that I just rode and got into, there it is. Now let's say that, you know, for tomorrow's sake, let's say we entered a trade here, right? And I'm going to keep this up for tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I enter along at the break of this VWAP from this candle. This candle down that broke this uptrend. All you have to do is click on the candle. That's it. So watch. If I'm going to say I entered a put position at 355 yesterday and I'm holding overnight, I'm just going to find the candle and I'm going to click on it, and then there it is. It sets it to the open of that candle. So yeah, I'll show you guys where anchored VWAP is again if you're using TradingView. You're going to go to the forecasting and measurement tools, pull it over. You're going to see projection, volume based, and measure. Volume based, you're going to see anchored VWAP. Get your anchored VWAP, go to settings, set your source to open. You could have the bands on there if you want. I don't like the way the bands look. It's too much for me. It makes me want to die. And we're going to get rid of that before I have an aneurysm. And I just set it to the VWAP. And then when you're done, you click Save As. And I save mine to Open because I know I have it set at Open. And I just click OK. So there's another way to gauge when to take profits. If you guys were short at the end of the day, you know, your take profit and the close of the rest of your positions could be after you break that VWAP from where you took that trade. You also have that golden pocket down here at 565.84, 565.64, where you might have some retrace. Maybe that's the break of the VWAP. Maybe VWAP, you know, ends up looking like this. Yeah, right. And then price ends up breaking it, and then we come back up and we test the 382. We come down and we do this. I don't know. Who knows? I don't fucking know. Wish I could know these things. That'd be crazy. Yeah. The VWAP, like deviations that Calvin uses, like I said, guys, it's, you know, it works for him. I just don't like, and the reason why is because most of the day my chart looks like this, right? Like just like this. And then when I need to, and I start looking at the RSI and I start seeing something maybe on the MACD, I just turn on my EMAs. And I look to see where the EMAs are maybe trading. And what we look at here. I don't have my chart like this all day because then I can't recognize patterns because there's too much going on. So you have to think like I already have EMAs and moving averages up on my screen. If I start using the deviations from the VWAP, my brain's gonna fucking explode. There's way too much there. I like my chart looking like this, basically. I just price. It helps me with patterns. Another thing too that I mentioned previously in I don't know, I might have mentioned this in the EMA video that I did. Usually when you have a breakout, you have around 3 or 4 larger back tests or downward movements before the real downward movement. So we had a breakout here. I wouldn't consider this a very big retracement. It was like 20 cents, 30, not even 30 cents. So we had our breakout, right? I would consider maybe this one here is 1. This one here is 2. Up here. This one here is 3. And then we had a 4th one here. Usually by the 4th retracement, usually by the 3rd retracement, the 4th one is usually the one where I'm looking to sell. Price usually retraces about 3 to 4 times before there's more of a downturn on the 1 minute time frame. Trying to catch up to you guys here. It's hard for me to multitask and look at the autism happening in this chat right now. I love it. Alright, so did you guys get the VWAP settings? You guys having trouble with that? It's fairly simple, but I can bring it up again. Yeah, so I recorded this, so I will put this on, or I will upload it and I'll. Good. I hope this helps you guys in your day trading. I really do. Yeah, Willie, it takes man, it took a lot of losses in order for me to develop rules and to develop my style. Like I learned what moving averages was or were from Jackie and EMAs were, but I learned on my own watching interactions of the EMAs and moving averages to develop my strategy. It's not something that I learned from anyone, and it might be out there. Maybe someone does something similar, but it's just I spent a lot of time watching Spy. And when I say a lot of time, like the last 2 weeks, I didn't trade Spy, and it's because I've never traded a possible like market downturn or big market retrace, and I was nervous, and I don't want to get dusted. So I was trading in the meantime. I was doing some crypto futures with some people that do crypto futures, um, just to not be rusty. And I've been watching Spy the last 2 weeks all day long, and it was for a purpose. I was working on identifying W and M patterns and what happens within these patterns, where these patterns occur on the price, what happens when there's breaks of these patterns, the patterns within the patterns, and I spent 2 weeks doing that. And today was my first day back in 2 weeks, and I stuck to my rules of market hours. I didn't have a profit goal. Trade the strategy. Below VWAP, I actually did puts below VWAP today, and I actually did a call above VWAP. I did walk away around 1 o'clock, and I didn't trade the first 30 minutes. And I started my day today. I did do some like a few like pre-market trades, paper trades, just to get my mind ready for it all. I appreciate that, Shane. I'm at the, I'm at a point now where, I want to be able to give back where I can in this Discord, and like to that point, we've had people in this Discord that were previously here, and they left, and I've had multiple messages of people that have taken away, some pretty good wins based off of my EMA and moving averages video that I did. And I've had people offer me money. And I'm going to tell you right now that I will never take your fucking money. I don't want your money. I make money in my trades. I'm not here to make money off of you. This isn't my Discord. I never want to have a fucking Discord because I see how much degeneracy goes on in this shit. And I have to mod it. If anyone ever uses anything that I tell you and you profit from it, donate it to Jackie. Because without Jackie, I would not have any of this knowledge. I wouldn't have the confidence. And I wouldn't have pursued what I've pursued so far in the journey that I'm on. So, if anything that I teach in here, my style of trading, my rules, if it ends up being beneficial for you, please donate to Jackie, because without Jackie, none of us would be here. Absolutely none of us. And for the people that want money because they are calling out trades and calling out levels and doing technical analysis, if you're in this Discord and you want to be rewarded, then fucking trade. If you're going to be relying on people in here to make money because you're helping them, then I think you need to become a better trader. And it's a little bit of a rant about that. I don't like that. Don't like anyone that is here that wants money because they're helping people. Fuck off. If you feel as though you should be rewarded for helping people, then I think you're doing it for the wrong reason. You should be doing it for the monetary reward. especially in a Discord that's not yours. And there might be people in this Discord now. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know these people now. Like, there might be a few people in here now that want tips because they fucking called out a fucking break of a level that anyone could do, and it's just like, all right, dude, did you trade it? If you traded it, you should have made money, and congrats, you helped someone else out. Like, don't be asking for that shit. And I'll tell anyone here, if you're fucking so good at trading, and you need to ask people in Discord for money because you posted an idea, I will fucking out trade you any day of the week. Any day of the week. Yeah, Zach, you joined an interesting time. Yeah, dude, it's it's I'm not a religious person, and if you are a religious person, I'm good for you. I don't do good because I think it's going to get me anywhere else after this. I do good because people have done good for me, people have helped me out, people have taught me, and it's a way to give back. And if you're trading in here and you're expecting the same outcome of people donating, then just do your own shit. Like, fucking don't ride off the back of someone that spent many years learning, because that's exactly what it is. You're riding off on the back of someone else that's given an opportunity. Yeah, bye bye has helped me when I wasn't good. A lot of people have helped me. So I have people in my DMs weekly asking for help, and I'll never tell you when to buy and sell. I can post a thesis and I can be wrong too. Like, I still think fucking SPY goes down to 544 and we're trading at 566. I just think that we get there eventually. I don't think it's just up from here. But I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, then whatever. I don't trade off of where I think price may go. I trade on the price daily. Sick, dude. We have 69 viewers in here right now. What a great number. The tits firm. Yeah, bye-bye fucking grabbed a beer. He fucking came back to my rant. Yeah, get out of here with that nonsense. If you're here to help people, help people. That's it. If you're here to make money, then fucking trade. If you're not making enough money trading, then fuck off. That's it. Fuck yeah, guys. Do you guys have any questions about the rules I went over? I did show you guys like the little bit of the thing that I do with the VWAP that I think I've only showed bye bye. I think I've only showed bye bye that, but I really like using that as a way to gauge when I'm going to take profits. Like, an example here is if I played this break, like right here, right? Let's say I played this and I got on this candle, I would have closed right here. Break of that VWAP. That's where I took the trade. I think you guys should use that. I think it'll be good to help you with your take profits. It's just a simple VWAP from the candle that you took the trade from, and it can also help with your stop losses. Like, I don't know why anyone would, but let's say someone, let's say we're a beginner, because I've done this too, and don't know much yet, and you see this break right here, and you end up getting into a trade right here. Like, say you get into a call option, right, on this candle, and then you see this here, Just get out of it. Like, there you go. Yeah, set them up on the trades you took today and see how it would have panned out if you just used that little rule with the VWAP. Yeah, Bye Bye makes a good point. Like in day trade gang, obviously, like I look at what Jackie has to say. Sometimes I disagree with him, um, but that doesn't mean that I don't take things that he says into consideration. And anytime I make a trade based off of Jackie's analysis, I try to send him over something. Um, you have Freedom. Freedom loves posting trend lines, and they help tremendously on the day. So yeah, the trusted traders in the day trade gang, when they're posting something, I like looking at them for, it's additional. I don't look at them for my analysis. I look at people to add to my analysis, because sometimes Freedom posts something and it's something that I missed with a trend line, and I go, okay, I'm gonna add that to my chart. Sometimes Bye Bye is bearish, and I go, I guess I'm bullish on the day because Bye Bye is bearish. It's something that simple. Jackie, might post something, like, some type of harmonic that's completing above, and it might be $2-3 from where we are, and I am already under the impression of being bullish in the morning, and at least I know where to take profit. So I'll use other people's analysis on top of mine just to add even more confluence. Like, when I have my own analysis, and then Calvin comes in with his crazy fucking deviation lines that I love, and he starts talking about VWAP, and it aligns with my thesis of, let's say, going long, I go, okay, someone else is seeing something else in their trading strategy that also is showing the long. That's alignment. My sister just texted me, and it's distracting me right now because all it says is meatloaf. And one of my favorite things to eat is meatloaf, which means I get to drive to my sister's tonight and not have to cook dinner. Yeah. yeah. I basically, I'm looking for anything for confirmation bias. Calvin. Fuck, man, it's so funny. Yeah, but it's I look at it as like just if I have a bullish thesis and I think the stock's gonna go up, and Calvin posts something, or Freedom posts something, and it's something different that I don't use or I'm seeing, and it's bullish, I'm like, okay, well, they're seeing something else and I'm seeing something with I use. That's what we call confirmation bias, baby. Yeah, you don't the trusted traders, you have Calvin, you have Freedom, fuck Triz, but he's a trusted trader. I just want to make sure that I get that out of my system tonight. Fuck Triz. I don't really mean that. I like Triz. He's a little bitch though. But yeah, there's a lot of people in here that don't have that green, but are trading, and there's certain people that don't have that title that I take their analysis seriously, because to me, they're consistent. I look for people that are consistent in their trading. I look at people that are consistent in what they post and consistent in their thesis, to really like take them seriously. Yeah, what Calvin said with the deviation lines. Calvin, I don't know if you were in here, but I was showing them what I do when I enter a trade as a way to determine my sell. Is, let's say I enter a trade on this candle, I'll just do a VWAP on this candle, and I'll sell at the break of that VWAP. I do stuff like that. I can't. I was saying, Calvin, that the deviation lines on the VWAP, it's just because I use the EMAs. My chart mostly looks like this throughout the day, but then I'll turn on my EMAs. If I have my EMAs on, and then I have the VWAP deviations, it's just going to give me a brain aneurysm. But it's maybe something I start doing is maybe I'll test it out tomorrow. I'll do some maybe I'll do some profit taking at some deviation lines on VWAP. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it's just too much. Yeah, I really like I just like my chart to. I like being able to see patterns. I really like to, I like being able to see like this forming. That was the fucking wrong one. I like to see, things like this forming. And then for some reason, whenever I have I used to have my EMAs up all day long, and I was actually like missing structures and I was missing patterns for me. So I take them off, and then when I start seeing price do something like this, like consolidate, that's when I'll turn them on again and I'll use that as a guide. I like it. Yeah, bye. Like, I don't think there's any cons to being conservative. I saw someone post about this, it might have been on X, and they were saying that, you know, you have $1,000 in your broker account, a 50% trade is, $500. You have $100,000 in your brokerage account, a 5% trade is $5,000. So those 20%, 10% gains, they add up. So even if, you're missing, like today, man, if I didn't follow my rule and I kept trading all day long, I would have made more money. But I just don't look at it like that. I look at it as a successful day, and we're building a portfolio, and we're building the brokerage account. Yeah, Bye Bye killed it today. Bye Bye's a futures, a crypto futures degen, but he's smart with it. Honestly, chopped liver. If you're doing common stock, man, like it doesn't matter how much you have in a brokerage account. Like you have to get out of the mindset of becoming a millionaire in a week. You can have $100 in your brokerage account, and you can buy 2 shares of a company that are trading at $20. Um, focus on learning TA and getting some wins based off of the TA with what you have in your brokerage account. The amount doesn't matter. It's just getting the reps in. Yeah, Calvin has some good insight here. I like this a lot. I might try this tomorrow with the deviations. See, maybe I'll test it out a little bit. I like that. It's a good idea. Calvin, in your deviations, have you? Yeah, I'll do it now. Let me pull up VWAP on. We'll just do. Where did we start today? Friday, Monday. Here. Let's pull up deviations. Oh, that's pretty neat. Would you look at that? This honestly, anytime I see the deviations up, it reminds me of that scalp scratcher that people use on their heads. Yeah, that's pretty. It's pretty sick, Calvin. I like that a lot. Calvin, is there like you know, are there certain deviations that hold more weight when it comes to support resistance? Yeah, riding the EMA. Yeah, the three dev zone. So is the three dev zone the third deviation? So it would be this one down here, right? Is this the three deviation zone? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I'll invite you here. Make sure Calvin. Calvin, you're good now. You can talk.
Hey everyone. So yeah, middle green line, that's your basis, right?
Yep.
And zone up below above that is +1, then +2, then +3, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at like your middle screen in the third deviation zone, look at how price just rides that three
Oh.
deviation zone, right? So it's
Yeah.
stuff like this. It's just like is mind-boggling. Sure, you can make it work. Like, oh, like if you have an EMA, yeah, you'll see it ride that. But it just depends on what you trust, right?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
where my trust is,
Yeah.
and you see the same behaviors with EMAs and these deviation lines. So, but there's so much confidence, and if you've seen my VWAP discussion, I go through all of it there, but back test it, see how it works. It's gives you a brain aneurysm, yeah, but
Yeah. No, I might try this
it's
tomorrow.
yeah,
So would this be? So we have VWAP here. This would be the first positive deviation here, correct?
yeah, +1,
This is plus two.
mm-hmm,
This is plus three.
+3, yeah.
So what I'm looking
They're
at
just
is,
intraday support
yeah,
and support and resistance,
it's
yeah,
it's riding the second deviation up while using the third as a resistance above.
yeah.
Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. Wow. Yeah. That's really good. That's really good. Yeah, I'm gonna try this tomorrow, Calvin. I like this. That's insightful. I'm gonna have to rewatch your video. This is cool. Now, is there when you see the lower deviations pointing up, does that tell you anything?
Oh yeah, well, the semantics are the same as if you play MAs,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if averages go up, right, then obviously that's kind of bullish, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's just that with VWAP, also known as volume weighted moving average or volume weighted average price, right?
Yeah.
Is that there's a volume component. If VWAP is going up or down, that means volume is yeah, it also depends on where price is, right?
Yeah.
So if VWAP goes up, then that means there's a high volume, a majority volume of trades happening above and causing the VWAP to go up. So you'd naturally want to lean bullish. Same as if it's going down, right? And you could and and it's harder to notice with VWAP because it doesn't move as crazy as MAs do. But you can start to notice sometimes, like I guess if you kind of like zoom out here, um, you'll start to notice sometimes during midday or even in the golden hour, as I call it, VWAP will start to tilt one way or the other, and continue that way for the rest of the day.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this tomorrow. I like this a lot, and it's interesting too because it's like even this third, this second deviation line. It's very similar to a trend line break. This is literally a trend line break.
Yeah, and then watch how it breaks under it, and then retest
Retest
it
it.
from under it, right? And
Yeah.
then continue downtrend, right? Right.
Yeah, it's fucking wild. I like this. Yeah, good shit. I just want to see what it looks like when I have the EMAs up and how much it's gonna hurt me. And it's actually not too bad because of the color scheme. It's not too bad.
Personally, I changed the deviation line transparency to like 40%
That makes
to
sense.
make it, yeah, less of a my brain hurting, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely. I was doing that for a while, and then I was having a hard time seeing the EMAs and the MAs because of transparency, so I had to turn it up again. But no, I think I don't know. This is a pretty easy thing to have up on the chart, and it not really fuck with recognizing patterns. Yeah, I like this. This is cool. Yeah, I'm gonna try this out tomorrow. First trade of the day. It's gonna be off of deviation. We'll see.
Oh, come on, dude. At least like back test it
Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
on price history. Come on.
Yeah, no, I'm
Use the
not gonna.
replay function.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. No, if I usually when I'm trying something new, um, I only do one contract. Um, yeah, that's usually what I do. So I'll probably do something like that if I am trying it out tomorrow, or I'll take like a mental note of the trade as well. I'll be like, yeah, I would enter here and I'll mark it, and then I'll watch it play out. Do something like that. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't know. Maybe I should. Maybe I should just full port the first time that I'm doing it, Calvin. I'm actually related to Shane Gillis. It's a second cousin. Yeah, full port 0 DTE. There you go, guys. Do you use deviation? Catching up on these guys right now. What are sigma levels? Someone just fucking with me right now? Yeah, I'm gonna be doing so many lines tomorrow, dude. It's gonna be wild. I'm just catching up on what you guys are saying in here. You guys are fucking on cocaine and crack. You guys are just doing 8 balls. Yeah, what the fuck is sigma levels? Like, I don't get it. Bro, I have no idea what that is. And I am not gonna learn it either. I just looked at what you posted with sigma levels, and I have zero interest. I'm definitely better looking than Shane Gillis. That dude is fucking. He looks like a fucking creature of the Blue Lagoon.
Are you as funny as Shane though?
Am I as funny? I don't know. Maybe. It depends. It depends on how much caffeine I have in my system if I'm tired. I don't know though. Maybe. Yeah, but honestly, fuck Shane though. He looks like a troll. He like Shane looks like the troll you have to pay the toll to before you cross the bridge. Damn, it looks like someone's getting demoted. Can't even see your name, bro. You fucking, you're gonna go from gold to white real quick, my guy. Yeah, no problem, dude. I'm glad that. Hopefully, you learned something, man. Thanks for coming. Basically, price above the third deviation statistically will account for 2.1% of price action over time. How often does price get above the third deviation? That's interesting. Or below. I would assume not often. I feel like it's just like an upper Bollinger Band. Or if it were to get above it, it's going to come back down. We need to like the. You gotta stop with the signal levels. Like, what is price above a third deviation? Are you explaining the signal levels? The price above a third deviation statistically will only account for 2.1% of price action. Is that sigma? One standard deviation. Okay, measurements. You know what I like better than the word sigma levels? Um, just saying one standard deviation measurements. I like that better. Yeah, I'm recording this, so I'll have this posted probably tomorrow for you guys to watch. I'm shitting on Sigma levels if you trade them because I don't understand it. And that's my stance. Fuck Sigma levels. I don't get it. It's stupid. I'm only kidding, by the way. If you trade on those levels, then that's great, but. Yeah, Calvin seems like a. Hey, Calvin's a good dude. Yeah, Calvin has some. He has some lessons that you should check out. Yeah, Calvin and I definitely have a little bit different tone and voice for sure. But hey, that's what makes a successful relationship. You know, it's the opposites attracting each other. I have the deeper voice. Calvin doesn't have the deeper voice. Maybe it'll work out. Watching Chuck and Larry. Yeah, Calvin always has some good insight to. I really appreciate him coming up and explaining this. It's definitely been insightful. All right, guys. I started this at 6:30. It's now 8:10, and I'm tired. I didn't eat yet. Um, do you guys uh, have any questions about anything I went over? I'll put the 6 in here. We'll do this. Why can't I copy it? There we go. Yeah, no problem. If we're under the daily VWAP, but above on the 1 minute, would you still take a call with confidence? So if we're above the daily VWAP, like if we're under daily VWAP, but above on the 1 minute, yeah, because I'm not trading. Um, I'm trading like a max, like maybe $1 move, dollar, $2, $3 move. So I'm looking at the VWAP I'm using is just on that day. Oh my god, VWAP on spot all time high. All right, dude. What do we got here? We're gonna VWAP this shit. I think that was all time high. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That's cool. That's cool. That's wild. Yeah, dude. That is sick. We just had the break of this first deviation too that we've been. Wow. All right. Okay. Fuck. Yeah. This is interesting. Let's pull up a weekly. I'm just doing this for fun. Doing this for fun, guys. I'm just doing it for fun. Let's go all the way back in time. All right. What do we got here? The all-time low of SPY. This is what we got. That's crazy. Yeah, but look at how we ride at that, dude. Look at this shit. Look at that. Just riding that second deviation up. Look at that reaction too. It's crazy. I think Calvin has a video on VWAP. He did a video for you guys. I'm gonna do from this low. Calvin, I'm gonna be doing this all night now. Look at them. Look at them splaying up from that low there. Wow. Literally fucking riding this channel of the deviations. Taking it from that low. Now we're splaying up. 571. Fuck. That's crazy. We have the bottom deviation pointing down, the third deviation pointing up. I mean, it looks like SPY wants to fill this gap, guys. Just, just putting that out there. This is cool. Honestly, I think I'm gonna keep this deviation up tomorrow. Because I really like the way it's been reacting. Like, look at this. Like, taking it from the low that we had. Actually, technically be this candle right here. No, not that one. This one. Wow, fuck. This is good shit. This is real good shit. Yeah, we're gonna, dude, it's just like this VWAP even from there is just telling me that we're gonna fill this gap, like we want it. Like anytime we've been hitting this first deviation, since down here, it's just been up, up, up. Maybe we hit it again and we go up. Okay. All right. Calvin gave away too many secrets. I need to go eat something. I appreciate you guys coming in and I feel like this was extremely educational, especially Calvin coming in and giving us some insight on his deviations. That was fucking awesome, and I appreciate that a lot. Um, yeah, I posted the rules I went over here. We went over, how to determine some take profits using the RSI, the MACD, and areas of support resistance. Went over EMAs again a little bit. So, yeah. But I'll upload this once I have, once I get to it. I'll probably do it tomorrow morning because I'm going to be lazy. I'll probably play Call of Duty tonight. With, I don't know, is Soy Spider-Man still in here? Where's that little bitch at? He probably left. But, yeah, we'll see what's up. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys learned something today. It's good. And yeah, my DMs are always open, guys. A lot of you reach out to me, and I'm sure people reach out to Calvin too. Can't speak for Calvin, but DMs are always open if you have any questions. I'm never gonna tell you if it's a good buy or a good sell. I'll look at a chart. I'll give you my opinion, and that's about it. Yeah, Lencho. Basically, I just went over just like some trading rules that I had, like pre-market, pre-trading day. Went over psychology of trading. Went over some rules that I had for market hours. Not having profit goals. The goal on the day is to trade my strategy. If we're above VWAP, I look for calls. Below VWAP, I look for puts. I walk away for 30 minutes to an hour after I exit a trade. Usually it's because it gives time for price to develop another pattern to get into. I don't trade the first 30 minutes because I want to see this price action develop and have something to trade off of. And when I enter a trade, I went over how I use VWAP sometimes to determine where my exit is. And just to recap for Lencho, if I took a trade, let's say on that candle, I know the trade is basically, it's time to take profit when we break that VWAP from where I took that trade, and I'm out completely. Alright guys, I'm gonna get going, or I'm gonna keep talking, and I have a headache, so yeah, Lencho, thanks for tuning in, even if it was last minute, and I appreciate all you guys coming. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Everyone be good. Thank you again.